Today I want to ask one simple question. Are DVDs obsolete in 2024? Do you yourself still watch DVDs now? Or do you prefer watching a Blu-ray movie or a 4K movie or even a movie on a streaming platform? I myself think it all comes down to personal preference. I don't mind watching DVDs. I have quite a few in my collection. I have quite a lot in my collection actually. And I still buy them to this very day. And the beauty of it is, you can buy these in charity shops and they are dirt cheap. Now, don't get me wrong, I still do purchase Blu-rays and the odd 4K disc here, but I tend to only go for movies that have a special place in my heart. Movies that I am extremely fond of, or maybe a movie that is best known for its visual entertainment quality, and that is why I would go for the higher definition. But sometimes I think there are movies that are on DVD that are just fine to be watched on DVD, and I can still get the same kind of enjoyment out of them. Also, at times there are good reasons to buy the DVD copy over the Blu-ray or the 4K copy, and that also goes the other way. Sometimes there are good reasons to buy the Blu-ray over the DVD, and in this video I'm going to be going over some of those reasons with my collection I've got right here.
This is DVD.
Now, one of the main reasons I still collect DVDs to this very day is the cost. It is very cost effective. These have kind of become frowned upon by collectors. Most collectors want to buy Blu-rays and 4Ks, but you can find these in charity shops and they are in an abundance, and 9 times out of 10 you can get them dirt cheap. For example, most of these that I have on this desk here I bought for 10p each. Sometimes you can find them for that price, sometimes you can find them for 2 for a pound, 4 for a pound, but most of these I've actually picked up for 10p. You know, it's a great way to collect films. Sadly, we live in a time now where streaming services such as Netflix, Amazon Prime and Disney Plus are kind of phasing out physical media. Not totally, but I have noticed a decline in the actual physical stores. They are actually hard to come by now. For example, in some supermarkets you used to have a full aisle full of DVDs and Blu-rays, and now it's been condensed to a small section. It's not like this everywhere, but I have noticed it is slowly becoming the norm in different stores. And this I find very sad. I am myself a subscriber of Netflix, Amazon Prime and Disney Plus, but this isn't my preferred way to actually watch a movie. I'd rather own the movie, get it out, put it in my player and watch it that way. And there are many benefits with actually owning the physical disc. Actually, there are so many benefits from actually owning the physical disc, whether it be DVD or Blu-ray. The number one reason is you own it. This is yours. You bought it. This is your copy. It's not going anywhere. But on Netflix and Amazon Prime, there is no guarantee that that movie is going to be there next week or next month. They can take it off whenever they want. This also goes when you purchase a movie on Amazon Prime. If you actually pay money, not a subscription, if you pay money for that movie, you still don't own it. That is not your movie, and they can take it away from you whenever you want. But if you buy a disc, you know, as long as this disc is in good condition, this movie is always yours and it's not going anywhere. And I've actually got a good example. You see, Netflix are streaming One Punch Man, but recently they took it off the streaming service. It's back on now, but for the longest time, maybe about a year, One Punch Man was not available, and I absolutely love this series. I used to watch it over and over again. It was kind of like my comfort to kind of put this on and just have it playing in the background. I absolutely loved it. And then Netflix took it off, so I had to go out and actually purchase the DVD box set. Now, like I said, it is back on Netflix at the moment, but that doesn't mean it's going to be on the next week or next month. They could take it off whenever they wanted, but I will always own this version of One Punch Man. It's mine now, and no one can take it away from me unless I'm burgled. And sometimes I simply buy DVDs because I like the box art. This box set of RoboCop is absolutely beautiful. It's 9 times better than the box set you get on Blu-ray, and even though I do own that Blu-ray, I had to have this because I just wanted it in my collection because I love the box art. Sometimes a good reason to go for the DVD is because you can get the uncut or the director's cut on DVD, and for some reason you just can't get it on Blu-ray. This is a rarity, to be honest. Take this Lethal Weapon box set here, the first 3 movies that is. You can get them uncut on DVD for a fraction of the price of what you can get them on Blu-ray. That being said, I love these movies. I've had them in most formats. I've even still got them on VHS tape. That's how much I love them. And I've also got the Blu-ray edition of these films as well. These are only the theatrical cuts. They're not the extended cuts like the DVDs. But I still need to have them in high definition because they are my all-time favourite movies. But another good reason to get them on Blu-ray is because 9 times out of 10 they come with a disc which is crammed with so many special features that sometimes you just don't get on the DVD. So there are reasons to buy both formats sometimes. But it does also go the other way. For example, Watchmen on Blu-ray is the director's cut, but on DVD, as far as I'm aware, you can't get the director's cut. So that is the only option for me for this movie is the Blu-ray. The same goes with Avatar. You can buy it on DVD, but I don't think you can get the director's cut. I may be wrong about that, but I don't think you can. So buying the Blu-ray of Avatar, the director's cut, is the only way I would ever buy this version of the film. Also, if I'm buying an animated movie, I don't mind buying the DVD as long as it's the ultimate version, because the quality for me is obviously not as good, but you know, it doesn't bother me that the video quality is a little bit less, especially with animation. They still look pretty good on DVD. And when you're picking some of these up for 10p a piece, 2 for £1, you can't lose. For example, not long ago I bought this complete set of Spider-Man the Animated Series from the 90s for £1.50. Every single episode on DVD, £1.50. You can't grumble at that. And I was over the moon to pick this up. Over the moon. I mean, don't get me wrong, if the Blu-ray version of this box set was sat next to it for a couple of quid extra, of course I would have picked it up. But seeing this for £1.50, I was over the moon with. Absolutely over the moon. It was a steal in my opinion. And now I've got the entire series of Spider-Man in my collection for pennies. For pennies. And that's another reason to buy DVDs in 2024, because you can get them so cheap in charity shops. In my opinion, not every movie you buy needs to be high definition. I believe you can enjoy it just as much without worrying about the picture quality. Obviously, you don't want the picture quality to be awful, but DVDs are more than watchable. I'm just going to show you some of the DVDs that I have picked up recently for 10p each. There's a certain charity shop I go in where they just charge 10p. I bought E.T. 10p, Point Break 10p. I bought Jaws for 10p, a classic, a film that you might argue I should get on Blu-ray, and I would agree with you on that, but I find it more than acceptable to watch it on DVD. And then we have Jaws 2, 3 and 4, which I also picked up for 10p for 3 movies, and these I would most definitely not buy on Blu-ray because I like the movies. You know, I think they are quite enjoyable, and some of them are so bad they are enjoyable, but it's not a movie I will buy on Blu-ray, and I'm more than happy to just own this on DVD. It's not a box that I would ever think of upgrading, unless of course it came at a good price with Jaws 1 included. That would be different, but to have these on DVD, I'm more than happy with. I picked up the Hateful Eight for 10p. I picked up Stargate, the director's cut, for 10p. A childhood favourite, which is still in the cellophane, Jason and the Argonauts, 10p. Also, you can get some horror classics, such as this one, the Amityville Horror, 10p. Another childhood favourite, Batteries Not Included, 10p. Now, this film is one of my absolute favourites, and I did mention before that some of my favourites, some of the films that mean something to me, I will pick them up on Blu-ray. But I saw this in the charity shop for, surprise, surprise, 10p, and I couldn't pass it by. But if I ever see this on Blu-ray at the right price, I will pick it up. But in the meantime, I've got the DVD, and I'm more than happy with it. But saying that, I have read reviews on the Robin Hood Blu-ray transfer, and a lot of people out there have said that it's just not that good, it's not that great. And it's more or less the same quality as a DVD. So I would also question, do I need to buy the Blu-ray? Unless they come out with a brand new transfer, I probably won't. Here's another great film, Adventures in Babysitting, which I picked up for 10p. And I absolutely love this film. I think it is such a good film. I've liked it for the longest time. And this movie is also on Disney Plus, and if I'm not mistaken, it's heavily edited because obviously there's some themes in the 80s that they dealt with that aren't suitable for audiences of these days, or at least that's what Disney think. So they've edited the movie, and I absolutely hate this. I think movies should be kept intact, even if they are a little bit racist here and there. It's a product of its time, and it's part of the movie, and I think people who enjoy movies and collect movies, they want to see the original content, regardless of whether it is frowned upon these days or not. We can make up our own minds, and we know that it seems a little bit offensive maybe, but you know, we're adults and we can get over that little road bump ourselves without it being cut out of the movie. There's another classic for 10p, The Breakfast Club, a classic that I've never actually seen, so I picked it up for 10p. That's another good reason to buy DVDs. There are so many out there that you probably haven't seen. Me, I've never seen The Breakfast Club, and I didn't necessarily want to pay full price for a movie I've never seen. I might not like it. 10p. Here's an action classic that I absolutely love, The Last Boy Scout, but it's not one that I would pick up on Blu-ray, so I'm quite happy to have it on DVD. Another fantastic film, Pan's Labyrinth, which is absolutely amazing. I highly recommend this film to anyone who hasn't seen it. And like I said, I picked this up for 10p, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, regardless of the resolution of the film. I actually forgot about the resolution of the film because I was so enthralled with the story. And that's sometimes what it all comes down to. If the movie's good, if the story's good, sometimes you forget that you're watching the DVD. And the quality difference is clear. You know, the Blu-rays are better quality, but sometimes it isn't that noticeable, sometimes. Here's another one I've never seen, which I picked up for 10p. The Last House on the Left. I believe this was banned in the 80s for being a little bit too close to the bone. And I've never seen it. So I saw it for 10p and I thought, I'll give it a go, I'll watch it, and if I don't like it, I'll just take it back to the charity shop and someone else can purchase it. Here's another great movie, a Coen Brothers movie, No Country for Old Men. I absolutely loved this. I've actually got a few more Coen Brothers DVDs in my collection, which I've no intention of upgrading to Blu-ray. Even though I do love those movies, they're just fine for me on DVD. Just fine. Next film is Leon, an absolute classic. Then we have True Romance, the director's cut. Now here's a DVD that I didn't pay 10p for. I paid about £15 for this. It's an import from America of the first season of Freakazoid. I'm currently trying to get the second season as well. This isn't available in the UK. You can't get it on Blu-ray, you can't get it on DVD. You may be able to pick it up on Blu-ray in America, but I'm not entirely sure. But I was more than happy to pick this up on DVD because it's a cartoon and I don't think the quality differs that much with cartoons. Now these, Superman the Animated Series, you can actually collect on Blu-ray, and I have been toying with the idea of buying them because I absolutely love these, but the main reason I went for the DVDs, and these weren't cheap, I actually paid a little bit of money for these and I could have opted for the Blu-ray at the same price. The main reason I went for these is because I really like the box art and the artwork on them, whereas the Blu-ray is just a plain box and it's boring, and I kind of opted for the artwork of the box set over the quality of the video. Maybe one day I'll buy the Blu-ray as well and put it next to these, but that's another reason why sometimes I buy the DVDs, because the box art is nice. And here's another great addition to the collection, The Rocketeer. This is a movie that I don't think I've seen, or if I have seen it, I can't remember it. And I was always wondering if I'd seen it and whether I'd enjoy it, and I saw it for 10p, so I picked it up. And I think I'll enjoy it. I think it's right up my street. It came out around about the same time as Batman 89, or maybe a few years later. It was kind of like tagging on the coattails of that. And, you know, I think I like it. And for 10p, I took the chance. And, you know, now I can actually watch it and see what it's all about, see whether it's good, awful. You know, but I may not have took the chance because it doesn't hold any nostalgia for me, because it's not like Batman. And it's not like the Superman movies. It's not a movie that I watched when I was a kid. But for 10p, I was more than happy to take the chance with it. And have you also noticed that sometimes the menus you will get on the DVD are so much better than the menus you will get on the Blu-ray? I know this isn't a game changer. I know this isn't important, but it's always something I look at. I think one of the best examples for me is Ghostbusters. On DVD, you get an awesome menu screen with the Marshmallow Man walking around in the background of the city, like a CGI recreated city, just for the menu of this DVD. But on the Blu-ray, you just get a static picture, and that's what you get on most Blu-rays these days. You just get a static, boring picture. But on DVDs, the menus were interactive and they were fun, and they were just great, a great experience. There was something special about looking at that menu.
Make a selection, love.
Now, here's a Blu-ray that I bought of Terrifier 1 and 2, the Bloody Duo. Now, at the time, the main reason I went for this is because for some strange reason, the Blu-ray set was cheaper than buying both movies on DVD. So, of course, I went for the Blu-ray. I don't always opt for DVD. But if the DVDs were cheaper, I would have probably just picked up the DVDs, because I do actually like this film for some reason. It's a very sick film, but I do like it. But DVD would have been just fine for me, but sometimes you can pick up the Blu-rays cheaper, so that is a good reason to pick up a Blu-ray, obviously. This is the Wolverine Unleashed edition. Now, you can't actually get this version of the film on DVD. You can only get it on this Unleashed edition of the Blu-ray, and I believe it was a 3D release. And this shows the movie with some more graphic scenes. They've included blood and things like that when Wolverine cuts people, and it just makes it a little bit more enjoyable to watch. I know that sounds a little bit strange, but it does. It makes it a little bit more believable, because in the other version of the film, which is on DVD and normal Blu-ray, he kind of like slices away at people and there's no blood whatsoever. It makes it a little bit more realistic, and sometimes you've got to opt for the Blu-ray version over the DVD. It goes both ways, like I said. So to answer the question, are DVDs obsolete in 2024? I don't actually think they are. I think buying cheap DVDs is a great way to extend your library. And at the moment, like I said, you can buy them dirt cheap. I don't think that is going to stay that way forever. I predict in maybe 5 to 10 years, maybe shorter, these will go up in price in charity shops. At the moment, we're seeing them go for pennies. I believe they will go up in price. For example, about 10 years ago, you could actually pick up VHS tapes in charity shops. I remember seeing them on the shelves, and they were always there. They could not sell them because obviously no one had VHS players anymore. Everyone had DVD players. And I can kind of understand why no one purchased the VHS tapes. The only reason I still have some is for nostalgia purposes. I don't have a VCR player. I just like to display them. But at the time, they were 10p a piece, and they couldn't sell them then. And they've kind of, they kind of disappeared from the charity shops. I assumed they were thrown away. And now you can be paying quite a bit of money for certain VHS tapes. Probably not these ones. But, something like that, maybe you'd be paying a fiver for. If you're looking for a VHS tape, for example, of the VHS release of the Ninja Turtles from the 1990, the movie, a lot of people are asking £50 upwards. So I'm not saying that they're getting that, but a lot of people are asking that on eBay and places like that. And they are getting quite a bit of money for some of the VHS tapes. So I think in the future, these may actually go the same way. So now is a prime time to get collecting. That's exactly what I'm doing. I think it's a personal choice. If you're a fanatic about HD quality, then obviously you're going to go for the Blu-ray and the 4K. And like I said, if it's a very special film to me, then of course I'm going to buy the Blu-ray. But if it's a movie I don't mind seeing in standard definition, then of course I'm going to buy it, and I'll be quite happy with that. Of course there are exceptions. There is a DVD release I've got of The Frighteners with Michael J. Fox. I love that movie, and I bought that on DVD for 10p, and it's presented in a really small letterbox format. And of course on these big TVs these days, that doesn't look too good. So that is probably one I will upgrade to Blu-ray. But for 10p, I took a chance. I bought it. I didn't like it, and I'll upgrade to Blu-ray. But it was a 10p chance. And the majority of the films, the DVDs that I have picked up for 10p, I'm more than happy with. But do you still collect DVDs in 2024? Do you think it's a more than acceptable way of purchasing movies? Are you more than happy watching it in standard definition, or do you prefer the 4K and Blu-ray discs, or do you prefer streaming? Let me know in the comments section. I'd love to hear your answers. And until next time, I'll see you very soon. Bye.